President Trump obviously making headlines during the 60 Minutes interview, but one image is getting a lot of attention today. This is the look we see on the wall between Leslie Stahl and the president. On the wall there is this painting, which we're going to get to. But a couple of things stood out to us. First of all, one, the DirecTV remote on the table, which speaks to what we already know about the president's habits. The New York Times reported he spends 4 to 8 hours a day watching television. Then there is the candy jar filled with red and pink starbursts. According to the House Majority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, the president only likes to eat the cherry and strawberry flavors. And finally, the painting there on the wall of President Trump with former Republican presidents Lincoln, Nixon, Reagan, others playing cards. It was apparently a gift from California Congressman Darrell Issa. And the artist joins me now. He is Andy Thomas. Andy, a pleasure to meet you. Welcome.
Brooke, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
So I know you painted the Republican Club, right? The table with the Republicans. You also have a separate painting of Democratic presidents as well. But give me a quick backstory, Andy. Why did you paint this? What inspired you?
Well, the original painting was done in, I've done 3 sets now. The first set was done in 2008 in the lead up to the election. And then we came out with another set that included Obama, President Obama. And so with President Trump, we need to do another one, so we call it just the Republican Club and the Democratic Club.
And Andy, did you have any idea that your painting was hanging so prominently in the private residence?
No, I didn't. I actually had gotten a call a couple of weeks ago from President Trump, and that was a real highlight. Darrell Issa was there, and so was Vice President Pence. And so that was quite a treat, but you know, whether they actually hang the painting or not, we didn't know till last night.
Well, hang on. So the president calls you up. What does President Trump say to you?
Well, I didn't think he was going to call, but he said that he'd seen a lot of paintings of me, and most of them he didn't like, but that he liked what I had done. He was very gracious and kind, and just everything very nice. Very nice.
All right, so he liked the painting of himself, and also just so we get everybody's politics out, you know, I read that you are an independent-minded Midwesterner. So Andy, does that mean you voted for Democrats, you voted for Republicans?
You know, I've not registered anyway. I have some political leanings. Yeah, I hope it doesn't show in my paintings.
Okay. So when you look at this painting with President Trump and these other Republican presidents, you know, he
Yes.
really does catch your eye. And I'm just wondering, what were the challenges in painting President Trump, and what were you hoping to capture about him?
Well, on all the presidents in every painting, I always try to make the presidents look as nice as I can. I want to still look like them, but I want to flatter them if I can. I want them to be happy, so I look for a good smile. President Trump was another challenge because he's, even though he tans, he's has a fair complexion and no deep recesses, and so he's a very subtle person to paint. And the face I painted on there is actually the second face. The first one I painted I was happy with, but it wasn't the smile we usually see. So I found a bunch of photographs with this particular smile, and I thought it seemed more appropriate.
I'm wondering, when the president called you up recently, was there anything particular about how you painted him that he really appreciated?
He just was effusive, really, and just as kind as he could be. I have seen some paintings of him. He's a challenge to paint. You know, he has different looks and different profiles. So all I know is he said he liked what I'd done, and that made me feel great.
Now, Andy, there is a subtle or not so subtle feminist message in this painting, which I also found fascinating. We've got a spotlight on this female figure, kind of blurry in the background. It's in both paintings. It's
Yes.
a woman. Tell
Yes.
me who she is.
In both cases, that kind of evolved, and I can tell you the story, but that would be, in this case, the first female Republican president walking over to take her place at the table. And same way with the Democratic painting. And I've heard people call it a feminist message. I'm far from I would be a big disappointment to feminists everywhere, but it's something that's going to happen. It's, you know, it doesn't need to be advocated or anything. We're going to have a woman, you know, 50% of our presidents will be women probably from this time on.
What makes you so sure?
Other countries are doing it and doing it well.
So it's about time we do it here. Well, there is a record number of women on the ballot this year, so we'll see baby steps, and maybe it'll finally happen. Why was this so important? 30 seconds, though. Why was it so important to have that representation in your picture?
Well, the story was I didn't want to have it all men, just because it begins to look like a good old boys club. I knew I wanted to put women in there. I started painting the woman in. I thought, well, I'll just make her the woman walking over the table. And I looked at the painting as I was painting it, and I thought, wow, that'd be pretty intimidating to walk up to that table of powerful people. But then I thought my daughter would walk right up there. She's been doing it for 20 years in business. So, you know, I may be intimidated. My daughter wouldn't be. She'd walk right over there.
I love that. I love that your daughter would walk up to the table. There will be a woman who will walk up to that table. Andy Thomas, thank you so much for taking time with me. I appreciate you.